Geno, can you update us on Nika, Lou, and I know we'll be here for a couple hours. But that's
okay. Lou's been struggling a little bit with she strained her foot about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was maybe. So and she tweaked it a little bit today, so she says she's fine though. But it's going to be something we need to keep an eye on, obviously. I didn't see the play that Nika got hit on, but from what I hear, she hit Aaliyah's knee or something with her head, and then she hit the floor, and it was a pretty good shot, obviously. But she's in the locker room and she says she feels fine, so we'll see. We'll know more tomorrow. Hopefully it's nothing.
You had a lot of players in positions that they've never been in. What are your early impressions on how they handled a pretty difficult situation?
Yeah. One thing I said was, if you had said to me at some point, you need to prepare to have this lineup in the game in the last 3 minutes of the game, I would say that's not possible. And sometimes the only way you can prepare for something like that is to actually be in it, to be in that situation and then see how you handle it. And I don't know that we handled it great. I don't know that we are going to be proud of what, obviously what we see on the film. And I think when Nika went down, it was really a lot on some of the other guys. And but at the end, we had to make a couple plays, we had to make a couple shots, we had to make a couple free throws, and we managed to do what needed to be done at that particular time to win a game. And that still means a lot, because it could very easily just been, feel bad about the situation you're in and then lose the game as well. You can't change the situation we're in. It is what it is.
Coach, Jen Hatfield with the next. Over here. I know you've coached against plenty of former assistants before, but just curious, what it was like for you tonight going against Carla, welcoming her back to Gamble and all that.
Yeah. I've been watching Carla's teams for a long time, from Tufts to Princeton, and there's a quality about them that you really have to admire. How well they play together and how they make the play that they have to make at the time they have to make it. And if you don't let them make a certain play, they keep at it until they get the shot that they want. And they're very disciplined that way, and they're very well coached that way. They turned it over. Did it say 28 times? Is that true? Is that an accurate number?
29.
How many?
29.
29? 27? Okay, I got it right. 28. So they had 28 turnovers, and you would think that if you turn the ball over that many times against UConn, you're going to lose by 40. And that certainly wasn't the case. Because again, every time, when we got that big lead, we got up 15. We don't have the ability to then go up 30 like we used to. And with a team like Princeton, the longer you let them stay in the game, the more difficult it's going to be. So none of what happened tonight surprised me. Not one bit.
Geno, what were you telling the team during the game? Like once Nika goes down, once the turnovers started to pile up and you have these players in situations they've never been in before, and then also in the locker room once it was all kind of said and done?
Yeah, I mean, as the game is going on, the only thing that you can keep talking about is the next play that we have to make, you know? We really didn't have time to go over everything you wanted to fix because there was just so much. So you just, let's make the next play, let's make the next play. And then after the game, you know, basically what I said is what I was talking to you about, that you don't know how you're going to handle yourself in certain situations until you're put in those situations. And when they look back, they're going to realize I'm not really proud of the way I handled myself, but also I made some things work when we needed to make them work. And we had a kid who never plays make some big free throws at the end. And to me, you know, having Aubrey play the way she played makes up for everything we didn't do. Because I thought the way Aubrey started the game, the first 5 minutes, I thought it was going to be a replay of Sunday's game. And you know, we really challenged her really hard in the huddle, and she responded. She responded probably with the most important game she's ever played since she's been at Connecticut. So we don't have time to fix everything that went wrong, but we can take out of it that what we did right and what Aubrey did right, we can build on going forward.
I was going to ask you about Aubrey, but you already answered that now. But you said about the freshman making the big free throws, and she also made a big basket that was, reversed there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was your take on what she gave you down the stretch?
Again, I'm flabbergasted by some of the decisions that kids make today. You know, Coach just put me in the game. I'm gonna show him that he can trust me. I'm just gonna punch their point guard as soon as she touches the ball. So she had the wrong role. She's got the wrong role model on her team. She should listen to me instead of Nika. So, you want to try really, really hard to make a play, and then because you smack the kid for no reason and put him on the free throw line, now later in the game, a really good three-point shooter, she won't go near him because she's afraid to foul him. So she lets the kid shoot it. So she's trying to find a way out there, trying to find out, what do I got to do? And yet, without thinking, and when the adrenaline was flowing and she just had the ball in her hands, she reacted instinctively. And I thought the basket was good, but I guess it wasn't. And the free throws, and a play that happened at the very end of the game with 3 seconds left, or 4 seconds left, well, I forget what it was, 3 seconds left, before her free throws. When we inbounded the ball, she came really, really hard to the ball like I wanted. And that speaks volumes about her, and that she's not afraid. She's not smart yet, but she's not afraid. And I can probably fix the one, but I can't make you not afraid. So, enough good things. She's getting baptism by fire, right? I don't think they have this kind of stuff in the Azores. I don't think they do this kind of stuff. The kid's never been in a situation like this in her life. CD plays this game with them every time we go into an arena. You have to guess the attendance. Then the winner gets, I don't know what, gets to go in line first when we go to pregame or something, I don't know. But they always come up with these crazy guesses. So first time we walked in the XL Center, and Nash looks around and CD says, "What's your guess?" She goes, 50,000. Legit, that was her answer, 50,000. the biggest building she's ever seen in her life. So, you gotta love a kid like that.
What was your, reaction to the, Brittany Griner news this morning and just what that means for the women's basketball community?
I always thought that there's ulterior motives for everything, when it happened, everybody knew that it was not your normal, typical U.S. citizen in a foreign country doing something incredibly egregious and has to be punished for it. Everybody knew what the deal was. I always took the position, and I think a lot of other people did too, that there was a point that the more we complained and the more attention we brought to it and the more we demanded that the Russian government do something, given how many other Americans are out there being held illegally, I knew that the more noise we made, the more we threatened, and the more we made it a cause, the longer it was going to take for us to get Brittany back. So I'm really happy that in the last 5 months, however long, it's been really quiet, and people behind the scenes did what they do, and it turned out the way it turned out. And I'm happy for Brittany, I'm happy for her family, and I don't look at this as a win for women's basketball or the women's basketball community, and I'm not that guy, and I'm not that person. I look at it as, the right thing to do was done. Whatever the motives were, I don't care. The right thing to do was done. I just hope that whoever made that decision over there makes the same decision on whoever else is over there from the U.S. that doesn't belong over there. So this is a great sign for humanity, not for women's basketball. And hopefully it's a sign going forward of what can happen when you sit down and talk about it. Behind the scenes, not in the media. You don't win a battle with that particular government through the media. And so I'm glad we got Brittany back.
Do you have an update on Dorka and if she will be available for Sunday's game?
I don't know. When someone gets an injury, there's got to be a mental part to it that has to be addressed. Meaning, if someone tells you, hey, it's okay, you can probably go, mentally you have to be ready to go. And if you're not, it's not going to work. And, my conversation with Dorka is she's not there yet. And maybe she will be by Sunday. She's practiced a couple days, so that's helped. And then we have a long layoff after Sunday. So, right now, I can't tell you yes or no about Sunday.
To follow up on Dinesh, when usually your freshmen, they know they're coming here 9 months, a year, whatever it is. Her recruitment happened very, very quickly, and if I remember correctly, she showed up the first week of classes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the progress she has made from her arrival to where she is today? And, it took a lot of nerve to, go in front of a few thousand people and make some foul shots with everything on the line.
Yeah. Well, the flight over took longer than the recruiting process. So that tells you how long we were recruiting her. And the one thing I do admire about those kids over there, and Nash was this to a T. Nash, you want to come to UConn? Yeah. You ever been to America? No. You even know where we are? No. You know anything about it? No. Sure you want to come? Yeah. I love their sense of adventure and looking for challenges and relishing opportunities. You know? So when you have somebody like that, you want them to do well, you want them to succeed, you want them to have a little bit of, of a reminder, this is why I made this decision to come here. I wanted to see if I could experience something like this. That kid never makes another basket the rest of her life. She's gonna remember tonight. And my guess is because she made that bucket, she made those free throws, she's gonna be an even more confident player next time she's in that situation. But I'm absolutely thrilled for her. And I hope she builds on it. She's a tremendous kid and everybody on the team loves her.
Amari came in 3 minutes into the game today. He was the first person off the bench. Have you seen a shift in her in practice or anything that you've liked that kind of has earned her those minutes early on?
Ayana? Or
Amari.
Amari?
Sorry.
Yeah, the first half, I thought Amari gave us some great minutes. Much needed, touches and buckets down down low. Just got to eliminate the dumb stuff she did in the second half. And again, it's just too much to fix. But you have to come away thinking, all right, how do we get more of what happened in the first half and more of what happened those, possessions where she looked like she belonged out there, and less of what happened in the second half. I knew I was going to play her tonight, and I knew I was going to get her a lot of minutes tonight. I didn't know how many, but I was prepared for it, and I think she was as well, because we put her in those situations in practice the last couple of days.
Lila and then Jim to finish up.
If you wake up tomorrow, the next day, whatever, and you realize that you have to form a game plan for the next game with this group that you finished the game with tonight. Not necessarily an X's and O's question,
Right.
maybe more of a mindset question.
Yeah.
How do you approach that? How do you feel like maybe one of the bigger, one-game challenges that you've ever had, I imagine.
Yeah.
How would you approach that?
Role players never get hurt, do they? Guys that you're just going to play 5 minutes. Those suckers, they don't ever even get a broken nail, So you look at our bench and you go, every kid on the bench is somebody we count on to score points. And now we're going to have a team out on the floor where the one thing that they don't think they're comfortable with is scoring points. And I don't know how we can win without shooting or scoring. So it's right, it's not about X's and O's, it's about the mindset that they all of a sudden are going to have to acquire. And will they be able to do it? I don't know. Will we be able to do it as a coaching staff? Yeah, we'll be able to put something together as to how we're going to attack, Maryland, how we're going to try to defend them. But in terms of, can we get our team to believe that yes, we can score enough points, given who we have sitting on the bench? That's going to be a tough sell, But then again, kids surprise you, right? So hopefully they'll surprise us. They surprised me tonight. I told one of our GAs going into the game tonight, I thought 60-54 in triple overtime. That was my prediction. So I think we knocked it out of the park. What did we get, 67? What did we get, 67?
69.
No way. Tell me.
Regulation.
We killed it. We killed it.
Lila and then Jim.
You guys were, able to create some separation right in the first quarter with having, 3 forwards on the floor with, Amari, Aaliyah, and Aubrey. Just what did you think of, how that looked with the 3 of them and, how you guys can use that going forward with some of these injuries?
I think every lineup that we put out there, going forward, until we get some semblance of order back, every lineup that we put out there works fairly well until that moment when it doesn't, and now you're scrambling around trying to figure out who do I get out first, because you know you need to make a change because it can't last. So we just have to find how long can a particular lineup be out on the floor together and be effective before it starts to go the other way, and then be ready to make the changes we have to make. And I thought Aaliyah, with her and Amari out there, I feel pretty confident that we can run the stuff that we want to run. The whole key is Aubrey has to be the Aubrey she was tonight. Otherwise, having those three in the lineup at the same time will never work. Will never work. And the reason why it worked today a lot of times was because of what Aubrey was doing. So if she can continue to do that, then we can go with that lineup more often.
Finish up with Jim.
They built this as a throwback day. Did it feel like a throwback before all the perfection, before all the superstars, that just a lot of hard-nosed kids playing through mistakes and just learning how to win a game that they could have easily have lost?
Yeah, before the game, we were talking about that. I said, you know what's really funny? I said, if we look around and what our lineup is going to look like when we take the floor, and I said, I think it's pretty ironic that you guys are going to take the floor tonight wearing the uniforms for the greatest team ever to play here at UConn. I said, that's a hell of a cool twist, right? And I said, well, maybe you'll be inspired by that and play way over your head. And Aubrey channeled her best Asia Swin and Tamika, and so maybe it worked. Maybe every game we have Aubrey wear this uniform regardless of what we're wearing.